Hi, and welcome to Discover Oklahoma. I'm Jenifer Reynolds.
And I'm Dean O'Lawley. Today we're coming to you from one of our great state parks. This is Romano's in the northwestern part of the state, very near Watonga.
One of my very favorite places in our state. The park is named after a Cheyenne chief and is one of the original 7 Oklahoma state parks. We love the rock cliffs and mesas and canyon views out here. There's a lake, 3 natural springs, a lodge. We're going to tell you all about it. We've enjoyed so much hiking and riding horses out here. It's a perfect getaway for your family or friends.
And speaking of getaway, is it safe to assume that you might have more of an opportunity to create those getaways in the near future?
I don't know, but I do know this. I'm having sort of a change in scenery. If you haven't heard already, this is actually my last Discover Oklahoma show.
You announced it recently on social media,
Right.
and obviously we'll be talking about that very important fact throughout the show. But first, we're going to go to a place that's very peaceful. It's a great place to relax, right in the middle of Oklahoma City, in the hustle bustle of Oklahoma City.
Quintran takes us to the Stinchcomb Wildlife Refuge.
We're going on board a pontoon to explore the Stinchcomb Wildlife Refuge. Lake Overholser borders the area.
This is actually where all of our programming and rowing began in Oklahoma City back 20 years ago with our efforts to get people on the water.
On this day, dozens of people are in canoes and kayaks to get closer to nature. Hidden in the swamps and marshes are wildlife.
Something that if people haven't seen before, it's really kind of one of the best kept secrets, we think, in Oklahoma City, in that you're in Oklahoma City, yet you feel like you're in the middle of the wilderness. And just past the old Route 66 bridge, the classic bridge, you enter into this new world out there, that is just a beautiful, really, people like to call it a retreat, because you're just so close to being in this urban environment, and you go out there and you feel like you're again in the middle of the wilderness, and you hear all the birds and see all the wildlife, and it's really great to do it from a boat because the river goes through the wildlife refuge.
Seeing the wildlife refuge by boat is the best way. You can walk the area and make it an adventure, but you'll have to create your own trail.
It's quite primitive, so you don't have any type of gravel or any kind of walkway where a trail has actually been laying out for you. So a lot of people, when they do go back, some people might take some equipment so they can help cut back some of the weeds or the greenery in order to create a little wider path for themselves. And it really is considered a pristine nature environment.
It's an environment that is untapped, kept as nature intended. Motorized boats are not allowed. Canoes and kayaks can be rented. The Lake Overholser Boathouse also offers tours and shuttles to the wildlife refuge.
There was a lot of good foresight in protecting that area here right in Oklahoma City and creating a wildlife refuge up there, because it's just a really, really special place. And I think the variety of what you see up there, there's a large wetlands area too that you can explore that's very different than other parts of the preserve.
Stinchcomb Wildlife Refuge spans about 1,000 acres. Float on more than 3 miles of water to discover the calm and beauty of nature. Quintran, Discover Oklahoma.
If you're looking for great places to get outdoors in Oklahoma, you need a copy of the 2016 Oklahoma Outdoor Guide. You're going to find great places to camp, hike, canoe, you name it. Get your free copy by heading to our website, travelok.com.
And with just a few weeks of summer left, this might be a great opportunity to take that last splash in your favorite swimming hole.
In fact, there's one not too far from Lauren Ferrum's hometown of Lawton, and she takes us there. Now to the Medicine Park Bath Lake.
Known as Oklahoma's original cobblestone community, Medicine Park is well known for also being the state's destination resort town in the early 1900s. Bath Lake was the center of it all and is still a hub for family fun today.
That is the heartbeat of Medicine Park. It is just the most amazing. The river runs through it, but everybody swims in Bath Lakes.
Candace McCoy lived in Medicine Park as a young girl while her father ran the swimming pool at Bath Lake.
My father came working for a company that bought Medicine Park. It was a private corporation, and they needed someone to run the skating rink, the swimming pool, the cabins, the hotel, and I heard about it forever and ever and ever from my brothers and sisters about how great it was.
Candace and her family came back to Medicine Park in 1995 and have poured their heart and soul into restoring the community to what it used to be, and Bath Lake is at the center of it all.
It's a granite-based swimming hole. We really have a continuous flow of water.
Today, Shelley Cope supervises Bath Lake and says it's truly a gym and a place the whole family can enjoy.
We have this area that's the kiddie pool, and so it's shallow, the kids can reach it. There's also shallow areas on the other side. People can jump off the rocks, and we call this little area the island. So the kids like to jump off of the island and swim from there. They can sit on the waterfall, and it's just a big swimming pool.
Bath Lake is open for swimming from Memorial Day to Labor Day, but you can enjoy fishing in the winter.
In the wintertime, they can fish here from November to March when we stock it for trout. But in the summertime, when it's swimming time, no fishing in the Bath Lake area.
So come and experience Oklahoma's first resort town and spend the day at Bath Lake in Medicine Park.
You can also bring a picnic lunch and just plan on spending all day here and enjoying family time. It's a natural swimming pool, and the water is always constantly moving, so it's fresh. It stays the perfect temperature. It's not cold at all. It's just nice and warm and refreshing.
Are you guys hungry yet?
Discovering Oklahoma, I'm Lauren Ferrum.
The Medicine Park Bath Lake will close after Labor Day, so head down there soon if you're hoping to get in this summer. And a reminder, admission is $2 for anyone over the age of 6.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma,
That's a little Tulsa twist that we didn't really expect to have.
the T-Town tie-in to a music exhibit that's traveled the world.
If I'm gonna spend money, I want it spent at a delicious place.
And wait till you see the spot he found. It just might make your stomach growl.
Oh, you got one right there.
Yeah.
Good job.
Plus, we continue to celebrate Jenifer and her work as she says goodbye to Discover Oklahoma.
That's all right. That's all right, Lily. You're doing fine.
Great travel tips anytime, like Discover Oklahoma on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Oklahoma's new 2016 Outdoor Guide is full of the state's most spectacular activities and destinations. And when you use our new mobile app, some of the pages spring to life. So find your Oklahoma state of mind. Order your free guide at travelok.com today.
Well, when we started the business, my number one concern was I didn't want to be like everybody else. I wanted to be a real trail ride. I didn't want to just ride around out in the pasture and make 2 or 3 circles.
But they do try to make it easy for you from the moment you walk up the steps and right onto the back of your horse. In my case, a Mustang named Spirit.
This is the original all-terrain vehicle, but with its own mind. So if you make it mind, you'll have the time of your life.
We're taking a look back tonight at some of Jenifer's favorite places in the state as she co-hosts her last show with us here on Discover Oklahoma.
Do love that area down around Broken Bow. And this particular story, the Riverman Trail Rides, what a gorgeous opportunity to get on a horse and capture the memory of it all with pictures too.
Right now though, we are enjoying the beauty of one of Jenifer's favorite places, Roanoke State Park.
So many fun, unique things to do here at the park. For instance, you can camp out in a teepee.
Or you can enjoy the beautiful view on the balcony right next to the restaurant.
Beautiful place to come and watch the sunset. Now, traveling around the state for 14 years now doing Discover Oklahoma, one of the things I love is how much people appreciate all different forms of music. So here's a fun story coming up next. Jason Grubbs checks out the Supremes exhibit at the Woody Guthrie Museum in Tulsa.
Stop in the name of love for the Supremes. The Woody Guthrie Center in downtown Tulsa has an exhibit that's celebrating these fabulous girls. Every few months, the center changes out its special exhibit gallery. Currently, it's honoring Motown.
Many of the artifacts that are included in this exhibit are from Mary Wilson's gown collection, and they are beautiful.
See those glittery gowns up close. There are several of them, among handwritten notes, records, videos, and flyers. Even some items from a local resident. This is a program from 1965, when the Supremes performed right here in Tulsa.
That's a little Tulsa twist that we didn't really expect to have, but we love it whenever our community collectors pop up and say, hey, you know, I've got some really cool things that could give it a different twist.
These ladies were hitting it big during a time of change in the nation. This exhibit is part of the story about how music can be a changing force in society.
Part of what they did was change fashion and bring this glamour to the stage as they were performing. They were three young African American girls who, in the height of the civil rights movement, were hitting record sales with their albums.
Decades after their first release, the songs are still very well known, and the Supremes gain new, younger fans all the time. Exhibits like this help to tell the story of where it all started.
You know, just coming and getting a piece of history and learning a little bit more about how the Supremes changed music.
With Motown in downtown, I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma in Tulsa.
The Supremes exhibit is on display at the Woody Guthrie Museum through September the 25th. The museum is open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Check out their website for details on admission prices and special events.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
And then those homemade French fries. They're so, did you try those? They're delicious.
Not yet.
Oh my gosh, you take a bite right now. My mom will share.
Good food served by great people. We're headed to Edmond for an incredible bite to eat.
Okay. Oh, hold on, my cord's sticking out. God, I'm all coming apart. Okay. All right, I'm good now.
And take one, take two, take five maybe. We'll take you behind the scenes as we celebrate Jenifer's last big show with Discover Oklahoma.
Oklahoma Today magazine brings you stunning photography and authentic award-winning stories of home from Oklahoma. The only magazine that covers the entire state, Oklahoma Today showcases what we love about Oklahoma, bringing to you the very best of its people, places, culture, history, and of course, its legendary food. Subscribe now at oklahomatoday.com and get 6 issues absolutely free. Don't miss a single issue of Oklahoma Today magazine.
The cold water that flows year-round out of Broken Bow Lake made it possible for the state to create an 11-mile-long trout habitat along the lower mountain fork. They've recently added this new 1,200-foot section called Lost Creek that's making it even easier for anglers to try their hand at fly fishing.
Love it. It's amazing, 3 hours from Fort Worth, and we're in God's country.
It's obviously very scenic here. There's a lot of places on the mountain fork that you can feel like you're in a Rocky Mountain stream and fish for a species that you couldn't have otherwise without this year-round trout fishery that's been developed.
So we hired a guide and hit the river to try it for ourselves.
Here we have your scud.
Got our scud.
2 number 4 weights. Your indicator, strike indicator. Okay, do your magic. Oh, what's there? Oh, you got one right there.
Yeah. Good job. Now, I have to tell you, one of the fun parts of the show that sometimes you don't get to see at home are what we call outtakes or bloopers.
And there are many of them, we have to admit, and we will see some a little bit later in my very last show here for Discover Oklahoma.
I promise you, ladies and gentlemen at home, we will be seeing some of Jenifer's outtakes and bloopers over the years.
Yeah, me running over things, I'm sure. All right, at any rate, one of the other great things about this show has been all the food. We've eaten so many fabulous places, and right now, I'm going to take you for this last show to one of my very favorite places to eat, Simply Falafel in Edmond. Just south of the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond, Simply Falafel cooks up what is simply the best falafel I've ever eaten.
We soak our garbanzo beans 12 hours every night, and we mix it with the fresh parsley and onion and garlic and salt and pepper and 3 more special seasoning, our secrets. And they are crispy from outside and moist inside, and that's the secret. And we put sesame on the top, dip them in sesame before we fry them, and that's what makes us different than anybody else.
But Simply Falafel isn't simply falafel. They'll whip up just about any Mediterranean or Middle Eastern dish you can name, from the creamiest hummus ever to chicken shawarma.
Number 1 selling on my menu right now. We make about 30 to 40 pounds a day.
Hero.
Told you, we cut it, slice it thick, and finish it on the grill, and that's what makes it different.
And then those homemade French fries. They're so, did you try those? They're delicious.
Not yet.
Oh my gosh, you take a bite right now. My mom will share.
And fresh salads or tabbouleh.
Tabbouleh in Syria and Lebanon is made with a lot of parsley, tomato, green onion, salt and pepper, olive oil, lemon juice, and very little cracked wheat. It has to look green, not brown.
The tomato basil soup gets a thumbs up from everyone, including Dino's distant cousin Elizabeth Lawley.
It is delicious.
Who found Simply Falafel at the top of the list on Yelp. Grilled meats, fresh or sautéed vegetables, vegan, gluten-free, and dairy-free options make Simply Falafel a go-to for the health conscious.
Great food, great service. I could go on, but healthy options, fresh, flavorful. You saw the platter they brought earlier was very well presented. It's just one of the better options in Edmond.
Can't decide what to order? Design your own platter.
We put shawarma, we put chicken kebab, chilo kebab, rice in the middle, give them 2 different salads, hummus, falafel, all that stuff. So it makes them feel like at home. And I want people to feel at home.
And that, as much as the food, may be the real secret to the success of this Syrian native.
Hi there, how are you?
Who became a proud American in 1988.
In July the 4th, we were 137 of us from 27 countries. I never forget that day. I was the only one from Syria.
Mary Nemko says her daughters Anna and Maria both chose Mr. Majid's place for their last day of preschool celebrations.
They like the food, but they really like Mr. Majid. When they walk in, he gets them a special drink, and when they finish their meal, he usually has them go to the freezer.
Now, did you finish your meal, your food? Okay, are you ready for ice cream then, huh? Okay, we'll go there, come on.
Majid may offer you a treat from the freezer, a visit and a chat, a sample of something you haven't had before, a cup of hand-brewed Turkish coffee, or a delicious dessert.
The baklava is great. I mean, I'm trying to keep my girlish figure, and it's very difficult. But the coffee is very rich. Got a great flavor, just like everything else here.
I live in Luther, Oklahoma, so when I come to town, I try to come here, and if I'm going to spend money, I want to spend it at a delicious place.
For food or fellowship, Simply Falafel is a must for Mediterranean lovers. You can find all kinds of incredible places to eat inside our brand new Discover Oklahoma Dining Guide. We have scoured the state looking for the best places to eat. I know, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. This guide lists them for you. Just log on to our website, travelok.com, and click where it says Request Free Brochures to get your copy.
Up next on Discover Oklahoma. Some of Jenifer's favorite places along with her favorite people as we send her off on her new adventure.
Hi, and welcome to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. I'm Jenifer Reynolds, and I'm here with my son, Gus. Are you ready for some summer adventure?
And the waving wing. Kiss your snow sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. We know we belong to the land. And the land we belong to is grand. So when we say, we're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, come see for yourself.
Okay. Oh, hold on, my cord's sticking out. God, I'm all coming apart. Okay. All right, I'm good now. Things are falling off the woman. Okay, here we go. I have him in the palm of my hand right now. Okay. I'm sorry, we're doing a TV show over here. Excuse me, make sure you turn up. All right. I'm too fat to do Ellie Mae hands anymore. I can't fit in my pockets.
See, coming on strong.
Rock it, Dino.
We have to
own it.
For you to get to your line, we have to get through mine first.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome back to Roanoke State Park. This is not too far from the town of Watonga in northwestern Oklahoma, one of my favorite parts of the state and one of my very favorite state lodges.
This is a wonderful location just to get away from it all with family and friends. Have a little downtime, relax. They have many cabins from which to choose, or you can stay right here in their beautiful lodge.
So many great memories for my family coming here to Roanoke and other places all around the state. And as I finish up my last show for Discover Oklahoma after 14 years, we thought we'd gather a few of those together and take a look back. Discovering Oklahoma has often been a family event for us, with the kids and my husband, photographer Chris Cook, traveling to all corners of the state over the last 14 plus years. Neely and Jill Roy's a little shy in front of the camera, but it never bothered Gus.
A corn dog.
The trek to Clayton Lake and the Clayton Country Inn down in the Kiamichi Mountains was one of our family's most memorable road trips, as was an action-packed weekend in Pawnee that included a day at the town's beautiful WPA-era bathhouse where the girls swam and Gus mostly looked at the water. It was followed by lunch at the renowned Click's Steakhouse, one of our top restaurants ever, with the Pawnee Bill Wild West show as a nightcap. One of Gus and Neely's all-time most beloved destinations was the Bartlesville Kiddie Park with all its vintage rides for the pint-sized. Our travels often included taking our horses and sharing some of our family's secret getaway spots like Chandler's Bell Cow Lake, where we spent many weekends riding, swimming, and camping, mostly off-camera. And a night at Guthrie's Beacon Drive-In became a summer ritual for our family after our Discover Oklahoma story there. As the girls got older and even less inclined to be on camera, more often it was Gus who came along with us, even hosting a show from the Route 66 boathouse shortly after he started paddling in the River Sport kayak program. Hi, and welcome to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. I'm Jenifer Reynolds, and I'm here with my son, Gus. Are you ready for some summer adventure?
I am. Are you?
I am. We're right here at the Route 66 boathouse. That's where we're going to start off this week. Oklahoma City's explosion in water sports is where I have witnessed the biggest transformation. From one of my very first stories on the tiny rowing club headquartered in an old restaurant at Overholser to one of my very last stories at the newly completed River Sport Rapids on the Oklahoma River, an expansion that would have been unimaginable to me back in 2001. Last summer, Gus was 13 and in training for a Boy Scout backpacking trip when he and Chris and I hiked to the top of Black Mesa and marveled at all the history and beauty of the rocks and hills around Kenton, just about our most beloved place in Oklahoma. I remember thinking what a long and fun-filled journey my time at Discover Oklahoma has been, but one that went by so fast, we never even had the chance to ask, are we there yet? Well, as I move on from Discover Oklahoma, the next chapter in my life is going to move me back into the news end of things. I'm going to be working on a variety of projects, including some long-form programming for the Oklahoma Educational Television Authority, so I hope to see you there. But in the meantime, I want to challenge you all to continue discovering Oklahoma.
And I also want to say thank you, first of all, for me. It's been an honor and a privilege to stand here next to you and share what Oklahoma has to offer. You are an amazing journalist, a great writer, not only that, but a stellar individual as well. I also want to thank you on behalf of the Oklahoma Department of Tourism and Recreation for sharing these wonderful stories with us over the years.
It's been such a pleasure. I can't even really put it into words. It's just been absolutely great. Thanks to you and all the great Discover Oklahoma crew. I want to thank all the folks here at Roman Nose for hosting us this week. This is, again, a wonderful place to come and bring your family, learn about Oklahoma's history, enjoy the outdoors. You can find out more about this state park and all our other great state parks at travelok.com. Just click where it says State Parks.
It's an understatement to say that you will be missed. It won't be the same without you, but we are hoping we could talk you into coming back on occasion.
I think we can work that out.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good.
Now, we're going to close this show with one of my other favorite places, a place I hope you're going to hop up off the couch and go and visit. It's really special. Mount Scott in the Wichita Mountains. This is courtesy of our wonderfully talented photojournalist and my friend, Tommy Evans.
All right, and are you ready for your last pitch?
I am.
Okay.
I'll try not to cry.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma.